I wouldn't put green Skittles on anything that says over on the run total.
Take the under, even if it's like 2.5.
It's going to be tough looking at guys stepping on home plate.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
We are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 7th season covering the Rays daily.
So go ahead, grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox, Game Pass, Ultimate subscription, and compatible controller are required.
All right, so the Rays are off or back from an off day and begin a 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals, who are presently 14-15 and third in the American League Central. Interestingly, though, not to say that, hey, the Rays should sweep or win the series. I mean, you always want the team to win the series, but that is never a guarantee. I would think and hope and believe that the Rays are facing the Royals at a good time, because the Royals offense is fumbling and bumbling like the Rays offense was last season. So if there's any belief that the Rays can take care of business at home at the Stein, it would be, in my opinion, this series, especially when you have Drew and Shane slated to go on the mound, and then Taj Bradley, hopefully he can get back right against Michael Lorenzen on Tuesday. But outside of really Bobby Witt Jr., nobody else or not many other players on the Royals roster is carrying their weight offensively. Now, could this be the time where they blow it up against the Rays? Sure. But I figure, this is an opportunity to take advantage of a team that is struggling mightily, basically in all facets of that part of the gameplay.
And if you're looking at it from a Royals perspective, you're probably going like, okay, guys, we're going to a hitter's park. We're going to a minor league park. Let's get the offense to roll right now in this situation. So hopefully that's exactly what doesn't happen. But you're right. Besides Bobby Witt, who is just such an impressive young player. I mean, if you don't know it, already got 2 bombs, 315 average, a 381 on base, 477 slug. That's an 858 OPS. By the way, he's a Gold Glove caliber shortstop. Oh, and also he might have a little bit of green dough.
Yeah, and he doesn't have legal troubles, unlike a
must be nice
shortstop that used to play for the Rays.
That must be nice to have a shortstop like that. No, you did mention something for us, selfishly speaking. On Wednesday, when we're going to go to the game, we will be seeing Drew Rasmussen, who has been impeccable this year with a 1-1 record and a 2.10 ERA. And then getting back-to-back starts from your best starters here, Drew and Shane Baz. It again, like you said, you don't want to say sweep, but you are at a platinum chance right here to take the series. Let's just say that. Take the series and keep this momentum building, because April's ending, which means that a big chunk of your home games ain't gone.
Right.
Ain't gone. So May is another one like that. So do not do with May what you did with April.
Right. take advantage. And again, the Royals offensively, they're 29th in baseball in team OPS at 616. Dead last in homers. You would actually think, as good as Bobby Witt is offensively, he'd have a couple more bombs. I think the team leader is Vinny Pasquantino, who has just 3. So there's a lot of guys with just 2 or 3 or 0 or 1. And again, just if you look at the at-bats leaders for the Royals, besides Bobby Witt, like Salvador Perez, for example, has a 636 OPS, 564 OPS. Jonathan India, 590. Michael Massey, 442. Kyle Isbell, 581. Our buddy Hunter Renfroe, 467. I mean, these guys are getting, meaningful at bats and not doing much of anything with it. Now, not saying that the Rays are going to, run up a 16-1 spot or anything like that, because if there is a strength of the Royals, it is their pitching across the board. They're 6th in team ERA, 11th in WHIP, 13th in strikeouts. And, particularly, some of these, I don't even know who they're going to throw out on Wednesday. Last I checked, it was TBA against Drew Rasmussen. But for example, on Thursday against Shane Baz, they're throwing out Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo is a pretty solid player. They've got other pitchers that are doing what they need to do, and Chris Bubeck, Michael Wacha, and a couple others mixed in there too. But this might be a case where the Rays, again, you might have your scoring opportunities few and far between, and you need to take advantage of that. You have a runner on third with less than 2 outs, get that man in, move the runner over, sacrifice flies, whatever you have to do, score on a wild pitch. I don't care. Get a solo home run every now and again earlier in the game. Whatever you can do to get out to a little itty bitty lead might just be enough against the Royals.
Your opportunities cannot go by the wayside here, because you're not going to have a lot of them. And I wouldn't put green skittles on anything that says over on the run total.
Take the under, even if it's like 2.5.
It's going to be tough looking at guys stepping on home plate. But guess what? Just when you say that, they will run a 10 spot, one of those two teams. But no, it should be a close series, not because talent-wise they're close, because I do believe that the Rays do have a better overall team.
Yeah.
It's just their strengths are very similar here. Their weaknesses are very similar, and they're both on the same side of the ball. So it should be a fun series, even though I do think talent-wise the Rays do edge the Royals.
I do have a question for you. But first, we need to tell the audience something important. All right, it's that time. Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Go ahead, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios. It is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. What are you waiting for? Go ahead, get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. What's really cool about this too is no shells. So it makes that grab and go so much easier. Whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios, it is the snack that works as hard as you do. So go ahead, visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. So good. I'll repeat it again. wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right, here's my question. Have you heard anything about a major country concert coming to Raymond James Stadium whilst there is Rays baseball going on?
You've known me since the year of our Lord 2010. I don't think you've ever heard me say country music ever in my life. So
not a big country music guy. Okay. Well, evidently there is a major weekend country musical festival headlined by Riley Green, Jelly Roll, and Blake Shelton that will force a change in parking for the Rays Royals series. It's called the Country Thunder Show. set up outside Raymond James Stadium. So that means the Rays general parking areas north of the stadium in lots 1 through 4 will be closed for the Tuesday through Thursday games. Instead, Rays general parking will be in lots 5 to 7 south of Ray J, with entrances off Dale Mabry Highway and Tampa Bay Boulevard. So with all that in the backdrop, my question is this: will the Rays sell out all 3 games against the Royals, understanding that country music, I guess, will be a formidable draw, and it being a midweek game or midweek series, and the parking options being a little more touchy and limited? Will all those factors prevent the Rays from getting sellouts of 10,000 and change Tuesday through Thursday?
I don't think first of all, if country music is the stop to this sellout streak the Rays have got, I'm going to be very upset at country music, and I'm going to not listen to any more Carl Perkins, who, by the way, is a great country
I don't even
artist.
know who that is.
From like the 50s. It's okay. That's the only country that's worth a damn. Anyway, hot take. I don't think that it would impact.
Okay.
Because I think it would impact the people's frustrations.
Yeah.
100%. But I don't think people would say, "Oh no, I'm no longer going to the game because of this country thing." Like I don't know if people are that fickle about their, goings. You think people would be kind of thrown off by, "Hey, there's a country music thing. I'm not going to go to the Rays game"?
Well, not necessarily that, but maybe they're being pulled in multiple directions. I gotta go see Jelly Roll and Blake Shelton and Riley Green. I can't afford to go to a Rays game as well and pay $30 in parking and $20 for a hot dog and $30 tickets or whatever it is.
I know Blake Shelton. I guess he was famous. He was on a TV show.
Yeah, he was on. I
can't
remember The Voice,
The Talent something. Okay.
One of the talent shows, and I think he's married to.
Yes, he's married to somebody big.
Face?
What's her face?
It's Stefani, I think. AKA
Nice.
What's her face?
No doubt about it. Okay, so I know Blake
pop culture.
We know things.
What would be really cool, honestly, is to have one of these
name?
Individuals throughout the first pitch at a Rays game.
There you go. That's a good cross pollination thing going on. Yeah. What's the first name you said? Jelly Bean?
No, there's Jelly Roll. It was a very big name, and you should know that. Riley Green, who it's not the same Riley Green that also plays for the Detroit Tigers. Different spelling.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of Riley Green. I don't know if it's a male, a female.
And what about Jelly Bean? Jelly what?
Jelly. You really don't know Jelly Roll. You're just messing with me.
I'm not kidding. I don't know
Jelly Roll, and I'm sure you've seen a picture of him. 400 pounds,
Roll.
tattoos on his face. He's kind of a crossover hit. Started out as a rapper.
Oh, maybe I
do. And then got into the country scene. What's funny is I made you myself, but 13 years ago when I was interning at a radio station in Louisville, Kentucky, there was a part-time board app / promotions guy who was like, "Oh, you got to get on this guy, Jelly Roll." And I listened to him. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, he's fine," because he was just a rapper at that point. And then lo and behold, I guess the guy was right because he blew up in a big way.
Wow. I think I've seen his face. But wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's your Locked On Jelly Roll segment.
Yeah, Locked On Jelly Roll. But more so, I'm curious if the Rays will be able to maintain their sellout because am I correct in the assumption that they have quote unquote sold out every game?
Every bleeping game, baby.
And I would think that, with all the hijinks and sideshow that is going on, plus it being the Royals and not the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Dodgers, a team like that, and being in the middle of the week before school is out, this could be a little bit of an impetus. But I think the Rays have also been offering more of those cheaper tickets than before. I think we got our tickets at a reasonable price. So I'm rooting for the Rays to continue to sell out because it'd be pretty embarrassing if you can't get, 11,000, 10,000 fans. I
think it's 10,046. So come on, you got to. I don't care if Jelly Roll, Jelly Bean, or Riley Green show up. You better do the sellout, man. And it's been fun. Obviously, we were only at that one game, but the atmosphere was fantastic. But I do think being in the middle of the week with Jelly Roll rolling into town and being in the Royals, this is the toughest scenario.
Yeah,
for
this
the
is
Rays
the hurdle that they've got
year,
to deal
for
with
this year. Yeah, because even like I was being facetious, with the Pirates thing, with the Pirates comment, but like it was still so early in the season that people don't give a bleep. They'll go see the bleeping Pirates. It's the fourth game of the season. But right now, like maybe it's like, okay, it's been a month into the season. People might lower their want, need, desire for baseball, that they're like, oh, the Royals, well, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll catch them next time.
But again, the Rays are on a 5-game win streak. There's excitement, some good pitching matchups. Chandler Simpson, opportunity to see him in person, night baseball. We'll see how it shakes out. But I just wanted to bring that up there for some fun fodder, and feel free to make fun of us in the comments for not knowing who Jelly Bean is or Riley Green. I know the baseball Ryan Green, not the country music star of Riley Green. I'll have to look that up later. In the meantime, we have more to discuss, some roster moves and maneuvers with the Rays. But first, we have to tell the audience something important. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Here's what I love. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has just so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. You want to take advantage of this. Head over to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Such a good offer. I'm going to repeat it again. Head over to FanDuel.com and claim that $250 in bonus bets today. All right, a couple roster moves that we wanted to mention here. The first, and I guess the least notable of which, is the Rays added some outfield depth last week in getting veteran Travis Jankowski from the White Sox. And Travis Jankowski, if you don't know, he is the epitome of a guy who finds a roster spot, finds a way to get a major league paycheck. Not a lot of action, but there is something innate, not necessarily about his ability, but there's something that is making him attractive to major league teams. He's played 11 seasons in the majors.
11 already?
Yeah, 11 seasons already. He has a career .235 average and .623 OPS. He's played for the Padres, Reds, Phillies, Mets, Mariners, Rangers, and White Sox. So I guess he will be getting his major league pension. I don't think we'll need to do a baseball reference war on him anytime soon, but I can just guess that it's not that impressive. But yeah, I'm guessing he's a great clubhouse guy and a great, quad A player, essentially, that, if you're really, really hurting for an outfielder, Jankowski can fill in for a couple games. And that's pretty much the situation that the Rays are in. They've got 4 outfielders on the injured list between DeLuca, Lowe, Palacios, and now Jake Mangum, who had that groin strain. So the Rays, for lack of a better word, were desperate for something here. And
what you're looking with that type of player is just a professional at that. A guy that can just seamlessly get into a clubhouse, knows what's up, knows what to expect, knows how to handle himself. And guess what? Yeah, he might go 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, but in one day, he might save you with a catch. He might give you the go-ahead RBI.
Yeah, he can do that. He's shown that capability.
And again, 11 seasons, maybe not 11 full seasons, but 11 seasons is 11 seasons, man. Good for him. It would be really interesting to kind of, understand the wherewithal that type of career takes on a guy. Because yes, he is doing what he loves, which is an amazing thing to do as a human being, doing what you love and getting paid for it. But to change to what you said, 7 teams in 11 seasons,
essentially a lot of different teams, not to mention all the call ups and send downs. I mean, I'm sure he's had to do a lot of AAA shuffles and overnight flights and red eyes and just grinding is probably the term to utilize. And I know he's had a couple seasons where he's played over 100, 110, 130 games, but the most of his career has been cups of coffee here and there, I would think.
That's awesome. Good for him for having another opportunity. Hopefully with the Rays, he kills it and is able to provide exactly what the Rays would need from a guy like that. The spots start here and there. I know we really enjoy Chandler Simpson and we enjoy Cam Meisner, but we also want to keep him healthy. So every few days, it'd be nice to get him off their feet. Or even if it's not a starting situation, hey, you know what, Cam, you can come out in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
Here's Jankowski or Chandler, whatever it is. But
and a guy like that probably, like, I don't know what his post-career plans are, but a guy like this is like the model for being a coach, which also might be part of the Rays. They could call up Eloy Jimenez or go after Coco Montez again, but this guy might actually have some valuable intel and information for guys like Cameron Meisner and Chandler Simpson and some of these other young guys. Like a guy who plays, a dozen years in the league, doesn't have, huge success, bits and pieces, but he made it to the show and stayed there for long enough.
Yep.
I think it's those guys that wind up being, the best coaches in the majors. Look at Kevin Cash, for example.
Yeah, look at Snyder. Look at Joe Madden, right? Joe Madden never even touched the big leagues, right? So, like, it's sometimes you don't need to. And guess what? Did Barry Bonds make it as a great hitting coach? No, he didn't.
I hear he was like the worst hitting coach of all time because because he couldn't he doesn't understand why people couldn't do what he did.
Like,
and then he had a lot of high demands as well. A lot of riders and, I want to make this amount of money. I want to stay in these types of hotels. I want to have this type of authority and just things that aren't conducive to being a successful coach and trying to, make it work. But so we just want to give a little shout out to Jankowski there. And then another little note, take it for what you will, but Ha-Seong Kim, instead of him being up sooner than expected, he's now looking at a June or July return as starting shortstop. So that is not great news because we thought he'd be back in May at some point, and now it's more likely mid-June or mid-July. Having said that, and this would be ideal, is even if his arm isn't quote-unquote ready to be making the throws from short to first and so on, if he can, serve up and get some at-bats in a DH or utility role, I would be all for that because I'm trying to do whatever I can to get Ha-Seong Kim in the lineup without, shortcutting his rehab and rehabilitation. But, the Rays gave him a lot of money and you want to see him on the field. And it also got me thinking, maybe as this digs deep later and later, maybe it becomes more likely that Ha-Seong Kim sticks around for another season. I don't know. He's on a 2-year, $29 million contract with an opt-out after this season. It makes you think 70 games of, good production or whatever the production is that enough to have
other teams say
and give him a better deal?
Because it's $16 million that he's owed next year. So that means, like you're saying, let's say 70 games and he kills it. Is a team going to pay more than $16 million a year?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Or just okay for 100 games. Would they put their hand on the fire for that? Like it's an intriguing thought. But I know Neander had a cute little phrase. I think it was like, you can't cheat biology or you can't rush biology.
Right.
Always good. Neander always has like one line of the year. Like, I thought about that one. He had that in the back pocket.
Yeah. He had it written down.
He had it written down, and it's good. Good for you, Neander. We like those.
We need him up here. I know.
Oh my God! Give me Kim, I can't take it anymore.
Or maybe Chandler Simpson shows Taylor Walls how to properly bunt, and then every at bat, Taylor Walls is laying down a bunt.
You have this. I don't understand. We have 5 years of actual data saying he is not a good hitter. But what do we have data of in the same 5 years?
Yeah.
He has a great eye at the plate. His walk rate is amazing. Taylor Walls is. And he's a great speedy base runner. And he knows how to run the bases. My goodness, bleeping gracious. Would you just do that for a game?
Yeah.
Just bunt the whole bleeping game. Like, what? Honestly, what do you care, Kevin? And Locked On Rays fans, please put it down in the comments. Do you care if Taylor Walls goes down 0 for 4 with 3 Ks and a flyout, or 2 groundouts and 2 flyouts, then 4 groundouts because he tried to bunt his way on 4 times and he gets out every single time? Do you actually care how he gets that 0 for 4? I heard a resounding, no, I do not. Please bunt. I heard it down in the comments. Right. Nobody in the comments said, no, I really want to see the 2 Ks and the 2 flyouts.
Well, if you ground out or lay down a bunt and you get thrown out, you might move the runner over too. If there's
you might move the runner over. And guess what? Also, with your speed, not as good as Chandler, but guess what? You can force a bat throw, my man.
Yeah. I will say, if and when Kim returns and the offense continues to produce in timely situations, the Rays might actually be, dare I say, impressive. Or, I mean, right now there are times where they're very, very fun to watch. But I think Kim, his ability and what he would be taking over for Taylor Walls, I mean, such a difference in lengthening the lineup. And I'll just leave it at that.
Nuts. I mean, it would just be a different lineup. It would, I mean, just put Chandler Simpson.
We can dream, have Chandler Simpson lead off, Kim third or Kim second, and then get to the heart of the order. That's not a bad situation to be in.
No, not at all.
Sure. All right. On that note, we appreciate you for listening, and we thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Be sure to find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to those podcasts.